The Battle of Haktang-Ni was a skirmish in the Korean War fought between a largely Belgian United Nations contingent and Communist Chinese peoples, the volunteers, between 9 to 13 October 1951, just north of the city of Chorwon, just over the North Korean border. Background: Haktang-Ni, the Hill of Broken Arrow, is an isolated ridge about 1,500 meters long, extending from south to north and dominating the surrounding plain for hundreds of meters in each direction. It is rocky and entirely clear of cover. At the northern extremity of the hill is the steepest and highest point of the hill. The center section plateaus before a very steep rocky outcrop to the extreme south. It was labeled Hill 391 by the U.S. Army. Battle: the 10th of October 1951. Belgian contingent arrives at Broken Arrow. The Belgian battalion arrived at Haktang-Ni at 1400 in the no-man's land between UN and Chinese lines on the 10th of October 1951 and dug in. C Company dug in at the northern peak, while next B Company entrenched in the northern section of the central plateau, in order that the southern point would not be taken by Chinese forces and used as a base for mortar attacks. The 40 men of the Heavy Weapons Company took up position on the southern peak 300 to 400 meters away from the rest of the battalion. The Belgian contingent was badly under strength at the time of the battle, since the battle occurred in the middle of a troop rotation in which many soldiers who had been in Korea since February 1951 had returned home in September 1951 and reinforcements had not arrived. 10–11 October. Chinese artillery attack. Almost immediately from their arrival at Broken Arrow, Belgian forces came under fire from artillery fire from Chinese 76mm guns and mortar fire. One Belgian soldier was killed, several were wounded. In the evening of the 10th of October, the first Chinese patrols attacked the positions of B Company. Recognizing the importance of holding the position, the commander of the 3rd Infantry Division, Major General Robert H. Seoul, visited the positions at Haktang-Ni by helicopter. As evening fell on the night of the 11th of October, the Belgians again came under fire, this time from Chinese 60mm mortars from neighboring Hill 317. The 12th of October 1951. Start of the battle. In the early morning of the 12th of October 1951, several small-scale Chinese assaults were repelled. First, at 3:45, an enemy patrol, supported by machine gun fire, attacked the Heavy Weapons Company. It was eventually driven back by U.S. artillery fire from 105mm and 155mm artillery. One Belgian soldier was killed during this assault, with 6 soldiers wounded, of whom 2 were Korean soldiers attached to the Belgian battalion. Later that day, from 8 o'clock to 1500, patrols from B Company climbed nearby Palebong Hill, which was being used as an observation post by Chinese forces. A second patrol from the reconnaissance platoon reached nearby Hill 317, found an enemy ammunition dump, which they destroyed, and then returned to Haktang-Ni. During the day, numerous squads of 5 to 10 Chinese soldiers had infiltrated behind the Belgian lines. The thick fog that had covered the battlefield during the day dispersed at 23:30, at the same moment as the main Chinese assault began on the Heavy Weapons Company. Morning of the 13th of October 1951. Main Chinese assault. The main Chinese attack on the Heavy Weapons Company began at 23:30 on the 12th of October. The Chinese troops were advancing on the front line of the reconnaissance platoon in perfect silence, moving through the barbed wire, when they came under fire from machine guns and flamethrowers. At the same time, B Company and the Heavy Weapons Company came under attack. Chinese troops even took the position used by the HQ of the battalion. During the night, the bodies of many wounded and dead Chinese soldiers were recovered by the comrades. Indeed, only 4 wounded Chinese soldiers remained on the battlefield at daybreak. They were taken prisoner by the Belgians. At 2 o'clock, renewed Chinese assaults began on the Heavy Weapons Company. However, by 4 o'clock, the main attacks had been repulsed and all positions reoccupied. At daybreak, Hill 317 was reoccupied by Belgian troops, and a reconnaissance patrol from C Company came under machine gun and mortar fire from Palibong Hill. When the smoke cleared, 98 remaining Chinese corpses were found in front of Belgian lines, giving the only estimate of Chinese soldiers killed during the battle, although, altogether, the casualties suffered by the Chinese forces were probably much higher. Aftermath. On orders from 3rd Infantry Division, the Belgians withdrew from positions back to the UN lines, taking up positions on Hill 362. Withdrawing from Haktang-Ni, the Belgians watched a heavy artillery barrage falling on the vacated positions. The Belgian contingent was awarded the citation of Haktang-Ni on the flag of the unit, which now held by the 3rd Parachute Battalion of the Belgian Army. A Haktang-Ni bar was added to the campaign medals of those who served at the battle.